All right, all right, all right. A couple dubs in a row now. Celtics live postgame. Here we go. Celtics take the Bulls down 119-103. And just an all-around good game, I think. There's a lot of good things we can pull from that, and I'm glad that I think we're going to end up talking about here, because that was not just a Bulls team that you'd expect, would die and roll over. There's a lot of young, good, I would say good talent on that team. Not even really young, good talent. I think that there's just some good talent on the team, and that's the type of team. I was texting some buddies, and I even sent a text to my dad saying it. That Bulls game was the type of game that, or I should say that Bulls team, that's the type of team that somehow beats you on the second night of a back-to-back, but yet the Celtics and Jayson Tatum's return just handled business. There's a couple, was it late third or maybe middle fourth quarter that they got it to 9, and I was like, oh no, don't do this. Don't do it to me. But nonetheless, Celtics did take the dub 119-103, and I don't know, it just feels good to get a couple of these in a row. Even though it's the Cavs and the Bulls, not necessarily the best teams in the league, it does sort of give you that sense of, this team's back in the win column. They're hot. Jayson Tatum's back. Kemba Walker is back. He just sat out tonight. It gives you that sense of, okay, this team's ready to fire on all cylinders, which I think, I mean, call me crazy. I think it's a good thing. But let's get to some of the box score here, and then, excuse me, geez. Let's get to some of the box score here, and then we'll jump into some of the chat. Alrighty, so like I said, it was 119. It's at the top here. We'll scroll up. 119-103. Jayson Tatum in his return, he had 24 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. Almost 50% from the field and 50% from three. Sadly, there's another 50% in there, and it's the foul line. He only got to the line twice, 1 of 2 from the line. It was late in the game there. But overall, I think it's a pretty good run for him. He played 31 minutes, played the most out of anyone coming back from that. So, I think they're trying to probably work him in and get him acclimated to playing basketball again, because that is your best player there. But nonetheless, we'll keep moving here. Jaylen Brown, 26 and 5 from him, almost 30 minutes from him as well. Jaylen Brown has turned into a shooter, right? Like, there's just no denying that. Jaylen Brown is now actually like an NBA sharpshooter. Like, actually though, the guy, I feel like he's shooting over 50% every single night. And the threes he's taking, it's like, in transition, stepping into a three and nothing but net. Or he even had that really nice one where it was earlier in the game. He pump fake Levine and then like jumped past him. It wasn't a three. He had his foot on the line, obviously, because he had to step forward. But Jaylen Brown has become a shooter right in front of our eyes, and it's crazy because it's just like the last chip to fall, or last whatever foot to fall, whatever the saying is, that, he needed to do. He's improved his passing, his dribbling, his finishing at the rim, and it's like now Jaylen Brown's a shooter. He literally is at a point now where he's just a complete basketball player, like no doubt about it. This is the first year we're seeing that, and I think you cannot hide that fact. Daniel Theis with 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Daniel Theis is looking pretty damn good. Daniel Theis is looking pretty damn good lately. Like, that guy is I know he said he didn't like playing the 4, but I don't know. Is because he's been playing the 4, is he like able to, not, I don't know, is he able to have more spacing or whatnot? Because he just seems to be, offensively I'm talking, he's still that grindy sort of physical hustler type player, but offensively he's just having game after game where I feel like he's opened up his offensive game, and I'm wondering if that's because he now is playing more of the 4 and he's letting Tristan Thompson go to work in the paint. I don't know, but I got to give Daniel Theis credit. Let's see who else we have to touch on here. Marcus Smart, 13 and 11. Again, that's the type of Marcus Smart. There's only a few plays, a handful of plays where I was like, oh no, Marcus Smart, you're doing too much again. That's the type of game we're looking for from Marcus Smart, though. And then I think the last one I want to touch on here overall is probably Aaron Nesmith. 3 of 5 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. They were all threes. A couple of them looked nice. I mean, Aaron Nesmith is getting going. He is getting going. He's finally, I feel like that game, he kind of looked confident. And then when he played, obviously, against the Cavs, too. Like, if that's the type of guy that ends up getting confident, I think he can help this team. Now, small sample size, 2 bad teams they played. It is what it is, right? But I think I'm ready to say that he's getting better, and he might be getting more acclimated to NBA basketball. I don't know. We'll see if he goes and proves me wrong. But so far, I'm starting to see him play a little bit better, and I like seeing that. But I'm all right. We're going to jump into some chat, guys. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate it. We're grinding on these videos, on the live post games, everything like that. Subscribe on YouTube. Like this stream right now. Like it. Like it. I'm going to give you 1 second to do it. All right. Short attention span. You should have had enough time. Like the stream. Share it with someone. Let's get more people in here. And if you're watching on Periscope or Twitch, pretty much take your talents over to YouTube and come and join the stream there, because that's where this stream is going to be moving in just a couple months' time. That's where it's going to be exclusive on YouTube. So thank you guys for subscribing and sharing around. I love the support we have building this. And yeah, let's get to some of your comments here. So Gear says, let's go. Winford said, let's go indeed. Gear says, where's the Tatum bobblehead? Oh, did I forget? So if you guys saw me tweet this out, I'll give you, I guess I was just about to show you the tweet of the picture of the bobblehead, whereas if I just used my brain one time, I could go like this. Here's the bobblehead. I don't know why I was about to show you a picture on my computer. Here is the new pickup. I got to get my face out of here so it doesn't see me. I mean, I got shaky hands too, so he's just bobbling, but how fire is that bobblehead? That's got to be my favorite so far. I got another one coming in. I don't know why I'm splurging out here, but I got another one coming in that's going to be really, really special to some of us. Yeah, I'll show you guys when that comes. He's not on the team anymore, but I got a good one coming in. I think it's a custom one too. So this is only like one of 200 out there in the world. The one I got coming in is literally a one of one bobblehead, or a one of a handful. I don't know if it's one of one, but it's pretty heat. I'll show you guys when it comes in. It's probably going to be here in the next week or so. But, yeah, here we go. Han says, love to see Neesmith start 2 of 2 from 3. Need that. Yeah, you know what I liked? So, Han, we like to see him start 2 of 2, right? You know what I liked is that he just kept shooting. Like, that's the type of alpha dog mentality that I want. And that was the difference between him and Pritchard right off the bat. It was like Neesmith came in and really hesitated on offense, whereas Pritchard was like, screw it, let me go off. I like that Neesmith was like 2 of 2, okay, and that probably, contributed to what I'm saying, but I love the fact that he was just like, okay, let me keep shooting. Because there was a couple of those threes where it was kind of like, oh, geez, that's a rookie taking that. But I like the sort of, I guess it's like that Mamba mentality where it's like, I'm just going to shoot. And clearly it paid off. When he feels confident enough to shoot and he doesn't feel like he's going to get yanked and sat on the bench, I think that's when we're going to get our best Aaron Three-Smith. Jordan says, Jaylen Brown continues to guard the best player and still scores efficiently. I tweeted this out. Where was it? I'm not going to pull it up, but I tweeted out, is Jaylen Brown better than Jayson Tatum? Asking for a friend. And guys, it's all like fun. We're having fun tweeting that out. And people are like, why are you even asking this? You're trying to divide Celtics Nation. I'm like, relax, pal. Okay. But no, the question can almost be seriously asked at this point. And I'm not slandering either one of them by asking that. It's just, it's a good thing that we can ask that. Jaylen Brown is at Tatum's level, if anything. Like, this is the first time we're seeing that. And it's an argument that can be made that is he going to be better? And I said it on the podcast, my Tommy Points podcast with Dante and Riley. I think in like the episode 1, I said, we don't really even know what type of basketball player Jaylen Brown's going to be. Jayson Tatum's going to be the prolific scorer, the legendary scorer. Jaylen Brown is still kind of like, it's kind of scary. That guy can do everything. Defend, shoot. Now he's starting to be able to dribble well, run an offense, drive, pull up from mid-range. Like, Jaylen Brown could very well be better than Jayson Tatum when it's all said and done. Now, I'm glad they're both Celtics, and I think that maybe, I'm probably still leaning towards Tatum just because of how filthy he is. But damn. How good is Jaylen Brown? And it's a great point by Jordan here saying that, he gets that tough defensive assignment all the time. Winford said, if Smart continues to give us Ben Simmons stats, we can be dangerous at full strength. Yeah, these are the type of games we want from Marcus Smart. 13 and 11. We don't need Marcus Smart going for 20 plus. Give me 13 and 11. He only shot 6 times, made 4 of those, got to the line 4 times, made all 4 of those. Perfect Marcus Smart game. There was only a couple times where Marcus Smart tried to do too much. Like one of the behind the backs in the lane, I think was one of them. He just like behind the backed it right to another defender. So whatever, but that's neither here nor there. Gear says, when Kemba comes back, Tice has to start over Thompson. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do when Kemba's back, when everyone's healthy. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do in terms of if they're going to roll the 2 big and move Smart to I don't know. Like, I'm really curious to see what they're going to do because I would like to see probably Kemba, Smart, Jaylen, Tatum, and Tice. I think that that'd be a really good starting lineup. Not like we haven't seen it before, but a really good starting lineup. We pretty much saw it all last year, but I think that'd be a good starting lineup, and having Tice off the bench, or Thompson off the bench would be nice. I think having Tice off the bench would be nice too, don't get me wrong. Either of those guys moving to the bench, I think, would do a lot more than moving Marcus Smart to the bench. AC says, great win, but we need to defend the backdoor cuts. There were so many backdoors, I thought I was watching Stormy Daniels' movie. But I love the effort. Yeah, I think, you know, if there's one thing we can say negative about this is that the Celtics really do have defensive lapses. Like, seriously, sometimes this team, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, crap, we didn't play defense. And that's what, you know, everyone thinks, oh, they didn't score for so long. That's why a team comes back. And you know, when they blow these leads, no, it's not that. I mean, that's part of it sometimes, but it's not that. It's more or less the Celtics are just like paper thin on defense, and a team's going and they're scoring, and all of a sudden that team gets a momentum going. So when we see teams like the Bulls, you know, going 10-1 runs, or you know 9-1 runs, or 10+1 runs, that's tough to say. It's not necessarily the Celtics just not making shots. It's that all of a sudden they just started to sink into their chairs defensively, which isn't good. Veronica saying, hope you get your channel going strong. Yeah, guys, again, I'm going to plug it again. If you can subscribe to the channel, that's going to be awesome. Thumbs up this video, you know, and it just helps after the fact. This saves as a replay on YouTube, and we definitely get some other Celtics fans and some OGs. You know, we got everyone that's tuned in for years now through Periscope, moved over to YouTube, and the more the merrier in my mind. So if you are new around here, I appreciate you subscribing if you do, and then liking this video. And, you know, we've done this for a few seasons in a row now on Periscope, through Twitter, and, you know, it just, Twitter's closing up shop with Periscope, so we're trying to take our talents over to YouTube, so I suggest the viewers do the same. Brandon says, I felt like a good team win, but also felt like a very sloppy game from Chicago. Still, we'll take the dub when we get one. Yeah, I can see that, but at the same time, I think the Celtics had, like, believe it or not, some sloppy runs in that game. So I think, you know, maybe if the game was more intense, I think the Celtics may have had more attention to detail. That could just be my opinion, but you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting you say Chicago was sloppy, because I do think that the Celtics had a few sloppy runs in them, too. Veronica says, do you think Jaylen Brown will overtake Tatum as the first option? I don't, not soon. I don't, because the way Jaylen Brown scores is a lot different than Tatum. As much as we do want to give Jaylen Brown credit for being able to create his own shot now and whatnot, he still sort of scores at that explosive rate, whereas Jayson Tatum can truly slow the game down to 1 mile per hour and score, and I don't know if Jaylen Brown is there yet. Like, Jaylen Brown used to go 100 miles an hour all the time, and now he's kind of, you know, tapered it back to 20 miles an hour or whatever. These miles an hour are kind of throwing me off. But you know what I'm saying? If the Celtics need a basket, I'm still trusting Tatum 100% over Brown, and that's not to slight Brown. It's more or less that Tatum's the guy right now, and I think he will be until I think he just will be. I do. I think he's going to continue to be. AC says, Carson Edwards looks serviceable tonight. I'm more excited when he and Nesmith get floor time. Yeah, I think Carson Edwards is starting to get me excited. That sounds weird, but it's true. Like, you know, we've talked about him, and I've said multiple times on this stream, it's like, I feel bad for him because I think he could strive in another system. I think, you know, when Kemba's healthy and Pritchard's back, I still don't think he's going to play, sadly, but I do get excited seeing him get out there and not look like a hot mess. He was 2 of 4 tonight, 1 of 2 from 3 for 6 points. Like, I like to see the fact that he gets out there and actually plays well. I'm not going to say he goes off or anything like that, but it's great. And same thing with Nesmith, you know, and I think Nesmith, even to more of a degree, I get excited when he's playing well, because he should be, you know, a guy that plays for us. He was a lottery pick. This is great breakdown by Ahan here. He says, Jaylen Brown is a rookie, athlete. Jaylen Brown last year, stud. Jaylen Brown this year, elite. It's a good way to put it, and that's just such a progression. And honestly, it's like that's showing the jumps, but I feel like even during the season, like, you realize we're seeing Jaylen Brown get better and better and better even since the start of the year. That's what's crazy. It's like we're seeing Jaylen Brown get better. It's not just like the off-season work and whatnot. Like, no, we're seeing Jaylen Brown progress right in front of us, and it's scary if you're not a Celtics fan. It has to be. Connor says Carson fire. Brendan says every Celtics fan saying trade Smart last game. How you feeling now? I know, guys. That's the thing. Like, we get in here and everyone rags on Smart. I do my best to defend him. My big take on Smart is always if he does too much, I get annoyed. It's not even the shooting. It's when he does too much with the ball. But you cannot say trade Marcus Smart because he's going to have games like this more often than not where I think he does a lot more good than he does bad. Let's see. Veronica says Tice is not a true center. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's like I kind of opened the show saying I think Tice is striving at the 4 position, but I think you have a one big lineup. I think it's gonna be a better. I don't know. It's kind of tough because one, today's NBA is entirely like, shoot the ball. You don't need a true center, right? But then at the same time, it's like the Celtics are now running 2 bigs, and I don't really like it. So if they just minimize that and struck one of them, why not go with the guy that's playing better? So Daniel Tice, even though he might not be a true center, I'm thinking I want him at center. He played center all last year. I think I want him at center over Thompson if he's going to keep playing like this. I wouldn't mind either of them, though. I think Thompson, 10 rebounds tonight. He didn't even shoot the ball. Like, he's still grinding, but I think Tice does more. Veronica, because you don't read comments, you just have your own agenda. Nope, incorrect. We have to. We get a lot of comments in these streams, and I read literally every single comment. So that's why we fall behind. So be patient there. Trust me, I get to comments. Ask anyone in the chat. Gear says Neesmith made some great passes. He definitely did. He looked like just a complete basketball player out there. He had a couple almost rebounds. I know it's a weird way to call it, but he had a couple almost rebounds where I was watching him, and because he said he wants to really improve his rebounding, and he had a couple really good plays where he was like right there or boxed out really, really well, yada, 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 and didn't get the rebound. So he only had, I think I have the box score up in front of me, he only had 1 rebound tonight, but that was something I was looking for him too. He looked like a good basketball player out there, is what you want from your rookie that has kind of stunk to this point. You're just looking for any sort of improvement or any sort of consistency out there, and I think we got it tonight. Yeah, you guys are letting Veronica, if you are new, yes, I get to the chat. It just, this is the people's show. I got to give everyone the chance to read the comments, and sometimes we get behind, especially with kind of the format of the show. I guess I would say, would you guys agree with it? Is it's like it's sort of, I open the show up with, I guess, my take, right, and then I just get to the comments as quickly as I can because we get a lot of them, but the my own agenda part of it is definitely the start of the show. Which, I mean, why would I love all the comments. I love your comments. I love everyone that tunes in, but the show's got to open up with me saying something, not just waiting for the first comment, right? Let's see. AC says, right after I made the Grant Williams comment on your timeline, Grant buried a couple key threes. My bad, Grant. Yeah, Grant Williams, I didn't have a problem with tonight. He kind of went in and stunk right away, right? He committed a foul, committed a turnover, and then shot an airball 3, and I was like, here we go again. But then for the majority of his minutes, I think he was fine. I think he was he was definitely fine. Like, you guys, literally, I have to say this every single stream because I'm not a Grant Williams hater. I call it like it is with Grant Williams, and he had a fine game tonight. I have no problem with what Grant did. 10 minutes, 50% from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 8 points. No problem with Grant Williams tonight. Brandon Parker says Grant won't tolerate slander of his name. Yeah, he heard that. I mean, if Grant Williams hears me ragging on him in the streams on Twitter and whatnot, on the podcast, and he turns it on, then good, because that's good for the Celtics. Keep listening, Grant. Ahan says he has a Horford bobblehead from TD Garden, and he looks like CeeLo Green. That Tatum bobblehead is... The Horford looks like CeeLo Green. This actually looks like Tatum. Like, this is a good one. Is it going to focus? I mean, his eyes are closed and he's yelling, but this is probably my favorite bobblehead so far. Connor says, is Carson working his way into the rotation? I still don't think with Kemba and Peyton Pritchard coming back, I don't think so. Unless Pritchard comes back and, like, isn't good. Like, what if Pritchard, what we saw from him was sort of just a hot run? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we've seen enough out of the kid, but I do think it still goes Kemba, Pritchard, maybe even Teague, and then Carson after that, So I think he's going to have a tough time. Veronica's agreeing, with it's because Pritchard got hurt. That's definitely why he's getting his minutes here. And you're saying, yeah, so I don't think when they both come back, I mean, if he does, it means that he's, in the time being, he's going to ball out and show that he needs it, which is a good thing. But as of right now, even with the couple good games in a row, I don't think so. Brennan says, nah, not enough playing time to spread around the minimal minutes when our squad is in full strength. Yeah, unfortunately, and like I said, I don't try and rag on Carson Edwards. He's the type of guy that falls off when everyone's healthy. He's an undersized guard that needs to be shooting really well, and if he doesn't shoot well, he's not too much of a value out there. And, we haven't seen him shoot well. We see him shoot poorly more often than we shoot bad. AC says, think about this. Jaylen and Jayson are combined 46 years old. We talked about it last stream. It's crazy to think that these guys are 3 to 4 years away from their prime, yet they are just torching this league. It's crazy to think that. The fact that we have two guys that, and again, maybe the prime number is sort of, or the prime years are sort of shifting younger and younger in today's NBA because there's a lot of young guys that are really, really good. But at the same time, it's like, if we go by just NBA standards and, 27 to 29 is the prime, we still got 3 to 4 years for these guys to get there. Yet they're still balling out, combining for over 50 points or 50 points every single night. It's nuts. Veronica's, I was upset when we drafted Brown. I wanted Hield. I wanted Hield too. I think I wrote a blog about it because they booed Danny Ainge when he drafted Brown, right? I was in on the Brown pick because I love drafting the NBA body, and he had the NBA mind. He just needed the NBA skills, which that, weirdly enough, is the thing that you can start to learn, which we've seen from Jaylen Brown. But to your point, you wanted Hield. I think Buddy Hield still is, like, if they could somehow get Buddy Hield with that trade exception, I'm not sure he'd fit in the best with the team, but I still am a Buddy Hield guy. I still think he's really, really good. Veronica's Kemba at 1, Brown and Tatum 23, Tyson Thompson at 2 and 3, Tyson Thompson at 4 and 5. That's probably what they'll run with because Brad has seemingly loved the double big starting lineup. Brennan says, Matt, TT and Tyson on the floor at the same time hasn't been statistically great. Yeah, and for some reason, Brad Stevens loves it. Connor says Tatum needs to be the focal point in the half-court set. His one-on-one game is crucial. Yeah, when they need a bucket, you go to Tatum. Jaylen Brown is I'm going to say Jaylen Brown's filthy right now. He is elite, but I still don't know if I'm sold or fully trusting his just one-on-one game when they need a bucket. Do I trust Tatum to do all the crazy moves and then kick it to Brown, who has a one-dribble drive to the hoop? Yeah, but if the ball needs to stay in one player's hand the entire possession, I still think I go Tatum. Veronica's game on the line. I trust Brown's shot selection more than Tatum's shots. Okay, so the one thing I'll say to this is, what if there isn't a good shot available, right? Then who's going to make the tough shot? That's how I'll pose it to you. Because you're right. I think Jayson Tatum loves that step back 3 for the win, where Jaylen Brown probably has more of a let me get to a bread and butter shot. Even if that shot is bread and butter for Tatum, it's just, seemingly a tougher shot. But who do you trust to make the tougher shot? That's my question to you. AC says, A-Shrod Blakely made a comment about Jaylen on Twitter earlier. Every year comes back with one facet of game that gets appreciably better. Literally. And it's like everything that someone says he can't do, he comes back and does. Barrington says, like it or not, Smart is part of the Celtics core for years to come. I'm in on it too. If he does these types of things where, he's just passing the ball, rebounding, scoring when he needs to score, I'm in on Smart. I've been in on Smart. I shouldn't say it like that. But to the people that wanted to trade Smart just a couple games ago, because he's jacking shots and whatnot, I think you can see if this is the Smart we're getting, that's what we like. Gear says, even though this is called a foul, I love attacking the rim. Yep, Veronica's, I thought you had a different platform at first. Questions, Connor, sorry, I can't read the site right of the stream. If I wasn't, I know if you're new to the stream, you probably don't understand the format and whatnot. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, I do try to get to all comments, and anyone in the stream will tell you that I do as I do my best. But sometimes halfway through the stream, the OGs in the stream know. My reading goes out the window, and all of a sudden it makes keeping up the comments even harder. And I just go on rants, making it even harder. Gear says, when Romeo comes back, I have a feeling he will take Green's minutes. I'm a big Romeo fan. I mean, yeah, I could see it. I don't know if Green's minutes sort of get spread to all of like the, when this team's kind of firing on all cylinders, do they even give Green's minutes to an equal type player? Or do they just give a little to Tatum, give a little to Jaylen? And it's right now he's playing a lot of minutes, so I guess you probably do sprinkle in some. But I don't know if you go from playing Javonte Green 15 to 20 minutes to throwing Romeo Langford into the fire coming out of surgery. But I'd probably be open to it to see how Romeo does, because again, if he doesn't play, he's gonna get faded out, and all of a sudden that's a wasted pick. Jordan says, Brandon, I see what you mean, but Jayson has taken 2 out of 3 bad game-winning shots out of like 5 total. He does. But this is what I always say too. This is what I always say. Jayson Tatum's bad shot is like becoming his go-to shot. So it's like, it stinks because you know that you can't, when Jayson Tatum takes that step back 3 on the wing, on the left wing and misses it, you can be mad that he didn't take a better shot, right? But I don't know if you can be mad at the shot anymore, because that's just his go-to shot. So there's like that fine line of, is there a better shot out there? Yes. Can you be mad and say it was a terrible shot? I don't think so. AC says he's a big Langford fan too. I really think he will offer something. I hope so. I really hope so. Barrington, does Romeo have a shot to become a factor for the bench if healthy? If he gets in there and gets his shot and makes something of it, I think they ride with him, because I think the organization and Brad Stevens are probably pushing for him to do more for this team than like a Javonte Green. And that's you know, sorry, Javonte Green, but Romeo Langford was the 14th pick in the draft and has not done anything yet. And I think you probably want to put your chips in for a guy that you drafted rather than a guy that just worked his ass off and got a roster spot. So I think that he's going to get opportunity. It's a matter of, can he live up to it? Skipping ahead just a little bit, guys. If you think I missed your comment here, you can just ask it again. Let's see. Brandon says, agreed, he takes awful last shots at the time just to make sure you scratch your head, but he's shown he can hit the clutch shots about 50% of the rate, and I'll take that. Got to miss some to make some. About the Tatum. Yeah, so that is the thing. It's like as bad as some of these Tatum shots, we'll go back to that sort of left wing 3 step back, side step, whatever you want to call it. As bad of a shot that appears, Jayson Tatum's hit that over and over again in his career, right? Over and over again, and it gets to a point where it's like, I guess you got to trust it. You know, it's becoming his shot. And I think as Celtics fans, we should probably do our best to get used to Jayson Tatum taking that game-winning shot, because I don't think it's going anywhere. Like, I genuinely think that that's going to be his go-to shot late in games, or when he wants to, isolate for a game winner or anything like that. I think he looks for that wing shot. So, maybe I'm wrong, but I think you should get on board with me in thinking you better get used to that shot, because I think we're going to see a lot more of it. And it is, if you slow that down, the only guy that's come close to really blocking it was Giannis. So that sidestep frees up so much space. It's crazy, because it really comes down to, is Jayson Tatum just going to miss it? It's an open shot the way he shoots it. He gets so much space in that slow sidestep. It doesn't really look like he's getting space, but he does. So he opens up the shot. It's just a matter of, a wide open 3. Not every NBA player makes. They make it like 40% of the time if you're a good shooter. So do you want that to be the shot that you rely on for your game winners? I probably wish it wasn't the case, but I think we got to get used to it. Greg saying Langford, guy doesn't play, will never be healthy. When he has played, he was never good. He played well on defense. He had a good net defensive rating, I think, right in the bubble, something like that, in limited sample sizes, obviously. But what my big thing with Romeo is I think they're playing a lot of garbage right now. Now, I guess, I'm slandering names out here, but Javonte Green and even Semi Ojeley's kind of cooled off. Grant Williams, obviously. They're playing a lot of garbage right now, so I don't think it's going to be tough for Romeo Langford to get his shot. It's not like this rotation is locked up 1 through 10, right? That's 8, 9, 10 spot, it's like, well, yeah, give Romeo a shot in there. If he plays well, he'll get minutes. So I know he hasn't done much so far, but that's like saying, just because he's a second-year guy now, it's like his career's over. If he starts to get opportunity and then stink, then we can say he sucks. But, I mean, clearly he's never been healthy before, and I know you bring that up. But if we've never seen a healthy Romeo Langford, then I don't know if we can say that he definitely sucks, because we've never seen his full ability on the court. Now, I don't know what his full ability is going to be, but my overarching point here is that rotation is not locked up. It's like anyone's going to get an opportunity at the end there, and I think Romeo Langford is a guy that might slide in. Parker says, yeah, Langford may be a bust for us. If he doesn't play well, he might. Like, it's a 14th pick. If he doesn't play and he just fades out, it is. But I don't know if... I never like to call guys like, mid-draft, like 14th. I know it's still lottery, but it's tough for me to be like, oh, he's a bust. So when I use that word, I guess I just mean like a flop. Because I feel like a bust is a guy that gets drafted like top 5 and then stinks. Gear says, of everyone on Boston, open shot with fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have death beamed pointed at Earth and you better hit it. I want Neesmith. Hey, could this argument be put to bed and say in a year from now Neesmith's the guy that hits the game winner? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think you go to Tatum even if you don't like the shot. You love the player taking the shot. But I will agree. I think Veronica had said it in the chat. I think that the Jaylen Brown shot selection, I think, is a lot better. Jaylen Brown's incredibly efficient. I mean, coincidentally, they were both 10 of 21 tonight. But Jaylen Brown's efficiency, he gets to his spots, the mid-range jumper or at the rim or a nice open three. But I don't know if you can always trust him to create his own shot. And the guy that I want taking the more difficult shot is Jayson Tatum. Veronica says, Brandon, yeah, ever since his workouts with Kobe, he seems to done almost, I'd say, a 180 to like the alpha that can control the game. Yeah, you remember Tatum used to just, and probably even at the beginning of like last year, I would even say there was games where Tatum would just fade away. Now when Tatum's playing, he asserts himself. That's what you need out of a superstar. Like, I think there's probably clips from this stream years ago saying, Jayson Tatum's so good, but all of a sudden he just disappears. And it was obviously an issue, too, when Kyrie was here. No duh, because he kind of was playing second fiddle to him. But I think ever since this became Jayson Tatum's team, he's embraced it and really hasn't looked back. And what I love is I don't think him or Brown mind the fact that one of them might outdo each other on any given night. And I know Kemba doesn't. Kemba's sent it. Did I say Kevin? Kemba's done it he said it multiple times, saying that he understands when he was out, he saw Tatum and Brown go off. He knows his role in this team, which you love to hear from your elite scoring point guard like Kemba. He's not going to take away from them. Brennan says Kobe put hair on Tatum's chest. AC says the behind-the-back turnover was notwithstanding. Smart's court vision might be the best in the team. He tosses some really... Yeah, oh my God. Marcus Smart is a playmaker. If you don't think Marcus Smart's a playmaker, I don't know if you watch Marcus Smart enough. Because I know sometimes we want to throw our phones at the TV watching Marcus Smart, but there's times where it's like Marcus Smart made some of those passes where, you know, you didn't really even see, and you have the view of the entire court. Marcus Smart's vision is really next level, and compared to what he was not even a passer coming out of college whatsoever. Compared to where he was drafted and now what he does playmaker wise, Marcus Smart's taken, you know, he's head and shoulders above where he was. Veronica says, I hope Romeo takes Green's minutes. Romeo can be a long-term fixture, and Green isn't. Yeah, that's actually perfectly said. Like, Javonte Green is the guy, and I kind of ranted about him. I felt bad about it on the last post-game stream, but the point was that the Celtics bench is in trouble if they have to rely on a guy like Javonte Green. No one knew just over a year ago who Javonte Green was, and now he's playing minutes for the Celtics. I think he is pretty good. Like, I think if he's on a bad team, he could actually put up some numbers. But I don't think he's a long-term guy on this team, whereas Romeo Langford, you drafted 14th overall, you're clearly invested in. I think that's really well said because it's like this team, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is a learning year for the team while contending. Not often do you get put in a situation like that where you're kind of figuring it out. You're figuring out who your go-to guys are, what the rotation's going to be. Some of these young guys, are they going to step up while being able to be one of the better teams in the league? You don't often see that, and that's where we are right now. Greg says, my feelings towards Langford is like Ev with Grant Williams. So, but I don't know, Greg. It sounds like you really hate Langford, right? It sounds like you're off on him, or are you kind of like, I gotta see something first? Because if that's the case, that's fair, because that is where I'm at with Grant Williams. It's like, I can't let people tell me that he's going to start or he's going to contribute before I see anything from him. And that is probably the right take with Romeo Langford, except if people really saw him in college and liked him and did like what they see, because there's plenty of people that liked what they saw from Romeo last year and when he's gotten his opportunities, which I don't know if I'm in that boat yet, but I think that it's probably fair enough. Brandon says, Javonte Green might be my favorite Celtics bench player. Guy has guts. See, I kind of want Javonte Green off the Celtics, not because I don't like him on the Celtics, but I really think that he could be good somewhere, and he's got a great story. He literally, like I said, we did not know who Javonte Green was a couple years ago. So I kind of want to see what he can do. I don't think he's ever going to get his opportunity on the Celtics because Tatum, Brown, you know, to say the least, play the exact same position as him. I think it's going to be tough. So it's like, I'm almost rooting for the guy, you know what I mean? And I don't know if he's going to get his opportunity here. So when I crap on Javonte Green, it's more or less him as an example about the bench, right? Or when I say something like I don't want him on the Celtics, it's because I want to see him somewhere else. But if he's going to stick around and play minutes, I do think he is a spark plug, and I think he does a lot more than people think. The guy runs the floor. He gets his hands in there. He seems to be a good offensive rebounder for some reason. Like I've seen a couple games in a row now, and I think it's probably because he just times jumps well and just leaps above everyone. But I've seen him grab a couple offensive boards where it's like, whoa, that's Javonte Green. Not that he's an extreme offensive rebounder. Don't jump down my throat. Here's a good one. AC says, Ev brings C's fans together. My favorite spot after the game, beers and C's talk. Hey guys, we're all bringing everything together. It's yes, I have the video camera and the microphone, but come on, this is become the post game community, and we've done it for years. Some people are long time viewers, some people are new, and I mean, I do my part, but again, I feel like I always get mushy saying this. This literally becomes so much easier when I have tons and tons of comments to respond to. I could come on here and talk to no one because I have no problem talking. I could talk about Celtics literally all day long. But, you know, if you're giving me credit for bringing people together, I don't know if I deserve that. I mean, I'm just coming on here talking Celtics, and I feel like it's the people that come watch and interact. Those are the people that kind of move the needle. AC says, Brandon, Green is starting to, I read that as Brandon Green, and I was like, there's someone in here named Brandon Green, but AC says, Brandon, Green is starting to stick the 3-ball too. He's active as hell. Yeah, I think that Green is good. I just don't know if he's ever going to get the opportunity in Green. No pun intended, but pun intended. Veronica says, Kemba's straight on, Williams in the corner, and Brown from the sides. I think you gear, I feel like I missed the part of the conversation there. Sorry if I missed something. Gear says, if you were Danny Ainge, would you make any trades or do you rock with this team for a while? I think you do make some sort of a move, but at the same time, I feel like I've said it over and over again, you do have to do something to try and improve your team, but at the same time, this team is going to be so good for years just based on its core. So it's tricky because, like, do you really, you know, use this for an example. You know, when they talked about trading Jaylen Brown, did you want to get better right then and there and go get, you know, Bradley Beal or something, whatever some of the rumors were? Or did you wait now 2 years and it's like, holy crap, Jaylen Brown? You can use that sort of analogy for the entire team. Now, I'm getting old here. I would like to see them truly, truly contend, and I think that they're only a couple pieces away from being able to do so, so I would like some trades. Like, I don't think they need to be playing Grant Williams, Semi Ojeleye, again, even Javonte Green or Carson Edwards. I think that they can move some of these guys and bring in a piece that would help them right now while not really sacrificing or mortgaging the future. So it's like I don't think you need to make a trade, but why wouldn't you? I'll put it like that. Why not make a trade? If you can do something, it's not like you have to go get the star. They have the hard part done. They have Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart. You know, their big men aren't as bad as people think anymore as compared to last year, but Daniel Tyson, Tristan Thompson locking down whoever's starting at the 5. I think that their team, like the core, that's the hard part. A lot of teams get guys here and there and guys that would be great role players on every team, but they don't have that core. They don't have the stars. The Celtics have the stars. So they have the hard part done. It's a matter of just filling in the extra pieces of the puzzle. So I say, like, that's why I say, why don't you go do something? Do they need to? No, I mean, they're going to be good. They're going to be a really good team without it, but I do think they go and make it. I would go and make a move if I was Ainge. And you asked that, Gear, if I was Ainge. Brendan says, if he gets consistent from 3, talking about Gene, I'd love him to get mid-teens minutes. Always gives us a boost of energy off the bench. So now if we're playing Javonte Green, you got to take the minutes from somewhere. I'm fine with taking him from Semi Ojeleye, I think, but I don't want his minutes to eat into, say, like a Robert Williams' minutes. If those ever intersect somehow, if they go small or anything like that, I'm looking for Time Lord to kind of break out and become a big man for this team. I don't know if Javonte Green sort of embodies more of the athletic high flyer, which would take away from Williams, whereas compared to, you know, if he was that strong lockdown defender, I think you just take Semi's minutes, and I think I'd be okay with that. So it's kind of tricky. Veronica says, I've seen a lot of proposed trades for elite power forwards with our trade player exception for Kemba. Who do you see us pulling the trigger on anyone in particular? So I think if they use the trade player exception, I don't know if they would need to. Oh, or for Kemba. Okay, so we'll use the player exception for now because I don't think they're going to trade Kemba unless the knee is not where they want it to be. I think we've talked about it before. It's like I think they're going to hold off on the TPE, to be honest. I think that they're going to kind of wait and see how things go because they don't have to use it this year. They can use it next year. I think that they're going to wait to see how things go. And then, if Kemba's knee's not looking too good, they'll use it on a guard or something like that. But in terms of power forwards, one of the names that's been brought up, and I really have started to like it, is Aaron Gordon. Now, I know it's not the big flashy name. Some people think, we could have gotten someone better. But Aaron Gordon, I feel like, would fit. He can run the floor. He can play defense. He can kind of shoot the ball a lot better than he used to be able to. I think he would fit with this team. Like, I can picture him and Jaylen Brown running the floor together. Or Jayson Tatum with him on the pick and roll or pick and pop. That's a name that I was like, it's been clear that he's been available, right? They've said it, like, bunch of teams interested in Aaron Gordon. I wouldn't mind using it on him. But I do think you got to be patient with it because you don't want to use that to use it, right? You don't want to use it to use it. You want to use it for what you need. And if Kemba's need is kind of, in the tank, I don't think it is. He looks pretty good. But if it is, then you're going to start thinking about using that on another star point guard, possibly. Let's see. Brandon says, Bam, Hero, and Porter Jr. all taken around the 14th, 15th pick and turned out way better than Romeo. Yeah, I know. I'm curious to see what Romeo's going to do when he comes back, or if he comes back. I don't even know when he's coming back, right? Didn't they say a week ago that he was nowhere near it? You say you don't see us needing an elite power forward to win. I can see a PJ Tucker and a nice fit and a pickup for us. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think having an elite power forward would hurt. You know what I mean? Like if they were able to somehow roll out a Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and I'm thinking this is more like the end game lineup because I don't know if you would start that small, but then like another elite power forward, it's like that's a pretty good team. So I guess you don't need it. You could probably fill in, like I said, you don't need to make a big move, but you do have the exception that you're gonna end up having to use or lose it. So you got to start thinking about what you're gonna do on it. Jordan says he also kind of faded away in the playoffs in the bubble, but came back in the second half. I might have missed. I'm probably behind in the comments. I'm not sure who that's about. My bad. Brendan says he might be too expensive to get right now. Aaron Gordon. Yeah, like I said, this is all sort of like ideal. And I don't know. It's just a name that stuck out to me when they said it. Veronica saying Romeo and Neesmith, both 14s. Let's see. Seems like they're taking their time with them, so I wouldn't call them flops yet. Yeah, that's fair. Like I don't think that they are flopping yet. I think that they have the ability to because they're both in a position, like literally position, like shooting guard / small forward, where this team has stars at that position, and it's like sink or swim. And if you go out there, get your opportunities, and stink, I could definitely see them just fading you out, not thinking they need you, and you never get that opportunity again. Greg says, I need to see Romeo do something at least, but he doesn't suit up and is injury prone, so I have no faith. Yeah, we'll see. Gear says, I would love for us to trade for PJ Tucker or Bertans. Wizard could use young depth. And you got the lights back. I did, yeah. These things change. I had to get new ones because the other ones broke, but they're cheap. These things change colors too. Humble brag. But I do like Bertans. I feel like I liked him more last year. I haven't seen too much of him this year, but he was a guy that I wanted big time last year. He's a big man that can stretch the floor, knock threes down. But PJ Tucker, like, I don't know why they're not even, I don't know if they are, but PJ Tucker, it seems like the asking price is at an all-time low. Go get him. AC says, how about Garrett Temple as a 3-and-D? Yeah, that's a journeyman sort of veteran guy too. I think that he could help. But again, I don't know if that's the move. Like, I'm not saying it's that case, but I don't want to get another Jeff Teague where it's like, oh, like this guy's a veteran, he's been around the block, and he has this unique skill set. I think Garrett Temple probably, would fit here and does sort of, mold into that 3-and-D guy, which would be really good. But it's like, I don't know if you. No, I think I would. I think I do like the Garrett Temple. I'm using the Jeff Teague comparison as poorly here, but I think that you're borderline getting that sort of like guy that wouldn't move the needle at all, and you're getting to get borderline. But I do think that Temple would be all right here. Veronica says we have to make a big move with that trade play. Yeah, like if you don't make a move with that, you waste it, right? And you pretty much lost Hayward for nothing. The one thing that we're holding on to that we didn't lose Hayward for nothing is this huge $20+ million trade player exception. Like, if they don't use it, you're gonna lose it. And why not? Like, they're going to use it. You know what I mean? Like, Danny Ainge isn't stupid enough to be like, well, we'll just let it ride. We don't need it. No. They're gonna use it. On what? We'll see. But and when? It could be a while before they use it. But I'm curious to see what we got with it. Dean says, how about the 5 on the floor at the 8-minute mark? Green, Tatum, Williams, Neesmith. Here we're at the point where I can't read comments and my nose is itchy as hell. So I'm all distracted here. And Teague, Neesmith and Teague. The fact that, I think that they were trying, they left Tatum in there because I think it was his first game back. They're trying to throw him into it because he was playing he was playing with the garbage minute guys. But I did like seeing it because that's how you get him back into it. The guy just missed like 2+ weeks of basketball. Get him back into it. Gear says, I just find it crazy how good this team is. On top of what we could add like Bertans and a really good player with a trade player exception. That's what I mean. They're 1 or 2 crucial pieces away from being like, whoa. And then it's not even like, whoa, for 1 year. They just keep building and building, and this team is literally has the potential to be unbelievable for years to come. I was nervous, but the lead went from 9 back up to 15. Yeah, when that happened, I was like, oh, no, not this again. Don't blow the lead. Greg says, I wish Celtics took a chance on Kevin Porter. I know he is a head case now and seems really not ready, but his potential for us, what the Rockets got for him, would be a nice add. Yeah, I just don't know if I don't think I would hate that because I do like the flyer on him, but I don't know if the Celtics team is built to take on like a guy like that. Not the head case and whatnot, but just the fact that it's like, oh, let's take a flyer on him for like I don't know if it's a team that's built like they're not desperate enough to take a flyer on a guy that could be terrible. You know what I mean? The Rockets are looking to get spruced up and whatnot, so makes sense. But I don't know if I think the Celtics are in the same boat as to like, oh, let's take a huge chance. Like, this isn't a team that needs to take a chance. Does that make sense? Dean says, need a shooter off the bench that can get you 8 to 10 off the bench. Need a shooter off the bench, the vet that can get you 8 to 10 off the bench. All right, I thought I was crazy, but you're the one that said off the bench twice there. I thought I was like seeing words twice. But I do think that's the case. Like we talk about it. We've talked about Kyle Korver as just the example. A guy like that who literally at this point in his career can do nothing but shoot, I think would be really good for the Celtics. Just being able to open it up. Gear says, hear me out, Vucevic and PJ Tucker. Yeah, what's Vucevic? Vucevic is an expensive guy, though, and he's pretty old now, so I don't know if I'm on with him, but PJ Tucker, you could sign me up. Dean saying need a vet wing shooter off the bench. I think that would do so much for the team. I don't think the big men are as big of a deal as people made them out to be this year at the beginning of the year or last year for the entire year. I think, if they maybe move one Tice or Thompson to the bench, I think all of a sudden you have your starting and backup center. The dream would be John Collins. That'd be unreal. Didn't he say, like he ragged on Trae Young, right? Was that a couple weeks ago? And then he's like, oh, but he's my teammate. I love him. It's like, dude, the damage is done. I would like him, but I don't know about that. I mean, that doesn't. That's the type of young guy that I feel like the Hawks will do anything they can to try and to keep because he is good. Veronica's my ideal trade to use for the trade player exception is Drummond. With Drummond, we can take the East. So we've gone back and forth on this, right? And Greg says I wanted Drummond for years. He's still the best rebounder. We've talked about it. Drummond is interesting to me because I don't know if, and it sounds like Veronica, you and Greg are in this boat where you're actively going after Drummond and using that trade player exception. Like, I don't know if Drummond's at the and available that didn't make a call about or didn't inquire about. I don't know if I like that because I think that, when Danny Ainge, Trader Danny gets going, he probably gets his mindset on one guy or a deal, I'll say, and then tries to make that deal as good as possible as opposed to just like hearing everyone out. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but I just don't want that to be the case where they get Drummond and missed out on, fairy tale land here. They missed out on getting Karl Anthony Towns because they were so concerned with getting Drummond. But if the deal, if they don't just focus tunnel vision on Drummond, then I wouldn't be mad if he came here. Let's see. Veronica's that you'd like to get Vucevic too. I think Vucevic could be good. He's always a guy that kills the Celtics too, but I'm curious as to how much he has left in the tank. And is that the type of guy that, would you be entering win now if you get Vucevic? Because I feel like, if he's old, how old is Vucevic? I'm going to look it up right now. Because this could change it if I'm just way off on his age here. If he's not as old as I'm thinking, I know you guys I probably could have just asked the chat and you guys would have said it. So he's 30. He's not that. I was thinking he's more like 32. So I guess I'm more sold on it. You'd get 1 to I guess 4 to 5 solid years out of him probably. So yeah, I think that could be pretty good. Greg says sign Larry Sanders. Gear says in the playoffs Tucker would help more than Grant. I think so too. Let's see. AC, we are so deep at the 3. 28.5 mil, biggest ever. It's exactly. They're going to be able to use that to get someone serious. Gear says Christian Wood should be on the Celtics. I wanted him to be on the Celtics so badly. So badly. Veronica, back to the Kevin Porter things. That they are too young to deal with the Porter nonsense. The immaturity could spread like wildfire. That's what I think too. I think that it's like they're not in a boat to take a chance on a guy like Kevin Porter because what? The young kid gets his head on right and becomes really great. Like, but you have your young guys. You have your young studs, really. You don't need to go take a chance on a Kevin Porter. Greg says Vucevic had a dope game tonight, and the guy's wicked consistent. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. Like I honestly thought he was like 32-ish. I don't know why that, but I think that I'm more sold on Vucevic knowing that he's only 30. Now 30 still, on the wrong side of the prime, but I don't think they need a Vucevic in his prime. I was thinking they'd only be getting 1 to 2 years out of him, but if you could get Vucevic for 5 years, I think that's perfect. So I think I would be in on that because he's a bruiser too. Like that's a guy that does a lot, and I feel like you talk about taking a chance, and Veronica said that any sort of immaturity or nonsense could spread like wildfire. You think you're getting that from Vucevic? That guy seems like just a straight shooter. Veronica says Drummond is 26. No one's getting Wood from the Rockets. Yeah, I was more or less saying in free agency when he was a free agent, I was hoping he was coming here. All right, guys, we're going to take a few more comments, and then we're going to close down the stream for tonight. But just a few more here. Greg says, always said, too, that I wanted Boogie Cousins, but the Celtics fans and coaching staff hates him at center. He could shoot, which would be huge. He is so cheap. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, too. You could probably find old tweets. I've always been a fan of it. The biggest thing, I'm not going to go on a DeMarcus Cousins rant here, but I'm going to give my quick little synopsis. That guy got the short end of it. He came into the league in his first 5 years, which is when he was getting technical after technical after technical. His first 5 years, he had 6 coaches. You think that provides any sort of stability or support for a player that is clearly in need of it? So it's almost like he was, I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, but he was in some serious need of some stability and he never got it. Veronica's imagine Towns in Boston dynasty bound. That is if I had to pick one guy to go get, it's Karl Anthony Towns. I think that his game would match up with Tatum and Brown. His age matches up with them. That would be absurd. Samuel said we need a defensive big like Capella. Yeah, I think that getting a guy that is almost like a strong body, leaping ability, can catch and finish the alley-oop, can defend, obviously. I think that's probably better than maybe just a Bert. I don't know. I was going to say better than a Bertans, but Bertans get that big man that can just stretch the floor I think they probably need that. They might need, if they're going to continue with the 2 starting lineup, I think they definitely need another big. So keep that in mind. If they don't, I don't know if they need to go seek out a true big, but I think they need a shooter and probably a big, and maybe even a point guard, to be honest, because I thought that Jeff Teague was going to be that guy. So the Celtics do need. I just dropped the podcast today. It's on this YouTube channel too if you're watching on YouTube. You can also listen to it on Spotify or Apple. But I talked about this bench and pretty much said if this bench isn't better than it was last year, this team's going to finish right where they finished last year and have no chance of making it further. Dean says, like the way Neesmith played with confidence and rhythm tonight. Yeah, he definitely is getting more and more confident. All right, a few more comments here, guys. Wish we pulled the trigger on a Clint Capella trade. When he was available, I think that the Celtics should have done anything to get him. Not anything, but anything. Vernica, do you think Towns is available? I don't know. I feel like Towns has been available for years, but not available at the same times. If he's available, you do what you can to get him. You have the trade player exception. You have all these young guys. Give every single pick you have until 3001 for the next 1,000 years and get Karl Anthony Towns. If they could get him, and, I guess, by Danny Ainge's definition, everyone's available if you present the right offer. I think you make a call because it seems like the Timberwolves aren't going anywhere. Why does he want to stay there? There's been rumors about him being not as, happy with the team, and clearly he's had his own battles with COVID and whatnot, both family and himself this year. I feel like it's just all disarray over there. It might be a time to try and say, hey, pick up the phone and say, hey, what are you thinking? So I don't know. Yeah, it says, let's just hope they keep losing games. 2 first rounds, Tice Neesmith and Kemba. I would probably do that. And you just heard me say how much I love Kemba. I don't think they're going to move him. Like, I would do that, I think, because he's just that good. He's got years left, F at 3 first rounds. I would literally give, I mean, am I crazy to say that I would give more than that for current? Like, are you going to get someone better in those 4 first-round picks? I was going to say more than 3. Are you going to get more? Are you going to get a better player in the first 4 first-round picks for Karl-Anthony Towns? No, like Karl-Anthony Towns is still young. You're going to get him, and all of a sudden, 4 years later, he's still going to be filthy, and you're going to see those 4 picks maybe turn into something, but maybe. Dean says Teague will be okay. I'm not worried about his production. I hope, man. Gear says, do you trade Smart for Towns? Yep, and I love Marcus Smart, but Karl-Anthony Towns is a different animal. 3 first round, 2 swaps, Neesmith, Langford, Tice, and Walker could work. It's like those videos that are on YouTube and whatnot where someone tries to buy a car, buy something at a pawn shop, and they're like, yeah, give me 200 for it. And they're like, I'll go 300, but no higher than that. And the guy that's selling it's like, did you just offer a price higher than what I told you I was selling it at? I don't know. My brain's going wild now, guys. It's getting late. But I think we're going to close up the shop. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight, OG viewer or a new one. We're here after every single Celtics game, rain or shine. Not that it really matters. We do this indoors, but still, you can rely on it. It's good that we talk about wins, but let's just hope we keep this win streak going because it got kind of old. Going live after that Knicks game and then the 2 Sixers game. That was a rough stretch. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you in the next stream. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, everything like that. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.